highlight during the season? What was your favorite thing?
There's a few of them. The final in Cambridge was awesome. Obviously, first win in 2,500. That was all execution on the start.
In
really
between.
Every heat.
And I think last year when we went, there were, I think it was 37 or 38 skiffs.
Yeah, hey, we've got an excellent team. Obviously, it's pretty hard work turning up with two boats, especially coming all the way from New Zealand. So, you can't say enough about our team, really.
Well, I gotta say, the race in Sorel against Kyle for one of the greatest races. Well, I had a lot of fun in that race.
Just a little bit on the night with the team, but not enough. So in October, we make a big party with all the people who helped me this year. So maybe there
Crank 'em up.
Welcome to episode 21, folks. It's an HRL recap. The championships are decided. A great weekend in Bonjour. Missed a little bit of racing on Sunday, but the action was packed all weekend up until that point. What are you guys' first thoughts on the season as a whole in HRL? Successful? Not successful? What do you think?
It was pretty successful.
I think it was successful. There was there's a lot of good racing across every class. So when you have that, success is the only successful is the only word that comes to mind. So yeah, they had a great year.
A lot of racing came down to the last weekend for almost every class, if not every class. So can't really ask for more than that.
Yep.
I think a lot of those championships were definitely affected by weather. I mean, there was people like Kyle was one. You guys were 1 point away from making podium with a final to go. Same with the 350s. They were going to be 17 points apart going into that final. A lot was going on, and unfortunately, Mother Nature played into that. But that's why you got to do your thing all season. You can't wait till that last race to make up ground.
Yeah, you have to put your season together, right? I mean, you have to go out, make no mistakes, finish, no penalties, and then that's what adds up at the end of the year for your points. So, putting together a perfect season is hard. But you have to watch your P's and Q's the whole season to try to be number one at the end.
Yeah, and leading into that, we got one guy sitting in the lobby that put together all his P's and Q's this year. First time with the boat, first time with the Honda. Rookie season, and he goes out there and wins a championship. Jacob Haineault. What do you guys think about his progression through the year? Obviously, had a pretty dominating year before we bring him on. What's your thoughts on Jacob's year?
I think he kicked ass. I mean, obviously he had one race last year, just in Bonjour, I believe, and he got his feet wet, and it showed that he was ready to fight this year. From the first race, I know he came out to APBA Edgewood for some testing for the HRL season, and I mean, he was already pretty well in front of almost all of us. So he started running, and there was no slowing him down even after his little roll in Valleyfield. So can't say anything, but he was damn fast.
Let's bring him on and get his thoughts on the weekend and the season.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy? Hey, bud! Congratulations on your HRL championship season.
Thank you.
You gotta be pretty happy.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah.
So, how do you feel? Or go ahead.
So Bob. What? No, go. I was about to say, what was your favorite thing that highlighted the season?
Well, I gotta say, the race in Sorel against Kyle for one of the greatest races. Well, I had a lot of fun in that race. Let's say
that was definitely.
Yeah, that was a pretty good race.
I remember watching from home, and that was a jumpy one for me. I'm pretty jumpy watching the boat when I'm not in it, and that one was. It had my heart going a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys are both flying.
Oh, my heart was pounding during that race. Let me tell you that. I was scared for my
I can
life.
imagine.
Yeah, that was definitely an exciting one and treacherous conditions too. I mean, to be able to run deck to deck like that for 5 laps and those kind of waters is pretty impressive. Both of you guys don't have a ton of experience, but you were respectful. Left him a lot of room. He didn't push you around or anything like that. I mean, it was just a great heat. It definitely is in our, I would say probably top 5 of the HRL heats this year. There were some good 350 ones as well, but talk to us a little bit. Obviously, this was your rookie season, and you go out and dominate. How can you top this next year?
Well, I don't know how I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a good try for sure. But most importantly, I'm going to try to have fun and stay safe. That's pretty much the plan for next year. It's still going to be a learning season too. There's a lot of stuff that I need to do, and I'm pretty much aiming to go in 350. So there's still a lot of learning for me to do.
Definitely. So this move up to 350, does it come a little sooner now that your dad flipped in the last race of the season? Is he
Well,
fired?
well, I don't think it's going to come sooner. I think I still have my path to travel, and I think I really need to focus on my learning and getting experience. That's pretty much what I need to do, and afterward we'll see for the 350.
That's good. Definitely a good path to be on. Talk us through maybe one of your biggest learning experiences this year. Obviously, that you said about that deck to deck heat, but being your first season, what was the biggest thing you feel like you had to learn as you were learning the boat and the new Honda power plant?
Well, I gotta say on the power plants, it's different from a Ford for sure. Not more complicated, but different. It's another way to learn stuff. It's I'd say it's really different. It's hard to explain, and learning the boat is definitely something that I still need to learn. I mean, I'm still going billboard on that thing and still quick, but I need to learn more. I need to learn how to control that a bit more.
Oh yeah. Once you open up the wing, and I'm guessing there's going to be quite a few more horsepower to follow that. And with how fast you are now, I'm kind of scared to see what that will be.
Yeah.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, it takes time to learn the boat with letting the boat get more free off the water. So.
Oh yeah.
And you were you had a pretty good points lead most of the season. So, I mean, if you're in a points lead, run that billboard. There's no sense of risking it, right?
Well, I still have to, it's still good to know that the boat is safe and that I can pretty much do whatever I want with it. But still, it's better to have it's better to run it over the waves and getting it where it's supposed to be than always being on the water too much. And I still believe that I have a lot of work to do with that boat, and I'm gonna get there eventually. Probably gonna take time, but still, this winter is gonna be a lot of work too.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there is no such thing as an off season when you're racing. You got to go out there and keep trying to make improvements to the hull and prop selection, gear selection, all that. Learn from everything you did this year and to move up to that next step. We've been talking about it on Chasin Tails. It's a big step when you go from the S class to Formula 2500. You see how Grant did and a lot of others ahead of him that they step in there and you guys have good experience and get the learning in the S class, and then you step in there and it's a little bit tighter racing and all that kind of stuff. I believe you're going to do pretty well at it though. So hopefully you guys work on the boat a little this winter, and I'm sure you're going to be right up there following in what Grant did in his step up this year.
Well, we'll definitely work on the boat this winter and work hard on it. we got a few projects coming up with it. Also, I'm gonna try my best next year. I don't know what's coming for me. Probably tight racing for sure. But I'm definitely planning on having fun next year too, and just duking it out there with the guys and just having fun. That's pretty much what I want.
That's all you can ask for.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think out of all the classes, I think you had the closest to a perfect season. I mean, you went out there and you just you were dominant in almost every heat that you were in. That was pretty impressive. You didn't. I don't. Did you didn't get any penalties all season? Did you?
No penalties during
Nope.
the entire season.
No. That's your rookie year. You go out, you win heats, and don't get penalties. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. That's pretty good. That's very respectable.
I can't say the same. I got one in my last heat last year.
Well, thank you very much, guys. It's really appreciated coming from you guys, drivers with a lot of experience, especially Bobby and Brandon. Well, coming from you guys is really, it's in my heart now. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem. It was enjoyable to watch you all season. It was very impressive. You were there on the starts. You weren't late on the starts. You were doing everything right. I mean, from a rookie at the beginning of the year and a champion at the end of the year is pretty cool to watch.
Thank you very much, guys.
For sure. Now, off the championship subject, obviously you've been around the sport pretty much your whole life. Who was one of your idols growing up that you were kind of aspired to be now that you're a driver?
Well, of course, there's many people that I could say, but I think my dad would be the obvious choice, you know. Followed him for 12 years and more. I was there pretty much at every race. I've seen it done. I've seen him doing some stuff that I never thought would be possible. And still, I aspire to follow in his steps and get in his 350 in a couple of years. And give it a try then and see what happens. But I gotta say, my dad's pretty much my hero. He's my biggest source of inspiration, and I really want to, follow up.
Yeah.
What about
awesome.
you guys?
Yep. I feel like it's always family. Definitely my dad for sure, and
my uncle.
There's been a few others.
Brandon's dad. So
them guys. I don't know if I pointed the right way, but whatever direction.
So, guys, anything else you want to ask Jacob before we let him go on?
You gonna keep the mustache as a signature piece throughout boat racing?
Probably, yeah.
I feel like it's always like a general topic that gets brought up is either a racer's hair or facial hair or something. If obviously for Bob it's the lack thereof, but
yeah, probably.
I just want to say it was great watching you, and keep doing what you're doing. Don't let your head get too big. Keep learning, and you'll get better and better. And obviously you did that this year. I mean, so good luck in the F class, and it's definitely going to be interesting to watch you progress. Definitely.
All right, thank you guys.
Look forward to racing against
really
you again.
Appreciate it from you. Yep. Yeah, of course. Of course, I look forward to.
Fun.
Nice.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and sharing about your championship season. Again, congratulations, and we'll see you at the next race or the gala, whatever comes first.
All right. See you guys then.
You too.
Have a good one.
You too, guys.
See you, bud.
I don't know if it worked. I tried to do the clapping soundbite thing, but
I did hear it.
It didn't go through my headphones for some reason, but
it was quick.
Yeah, I stopped it because it started to not come through.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Hopefully, we sent out a message to pretty much all the champions. They all said they'd get on. Some of them are not as tech savvy as the others. Not talking about you, Jimmie Stewart, although you did say it yourself. But so we hope to have them join us as well, share their thoughts. But let's go back to the Bahorma weekend. I mean, they fought. We talked about it before the weekend that they'd
Speak
fight
of the
all this
devil.
weather and all this. Speaking of the devil, Jimmie Stewart. So we might have to pause this, but they fought through adversity. Yep, we'll get back to it. We'll pull Jimmie Stewart in here.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy? Congratulations on your HRL championship year.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's pretty cool.
I must say it was a hell of a year. A lot more than I anticipated was going to happen this year with our team. So,
well, you're running. You guys are running what? 3 boats?
Yeah. Well, we're running
2 with the HRL.
4. Yeah,
and then most of the other races, at least 3, if not 4. Yeah,
Stewart Navy per usual.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And you're the head of it, so you're the one that's always tired at the end of the races. How do you even get the energy to go out there and wheel that skiff the way you do?
It's just one of those.
I like I tell everybody else, us skiff guys we just ain't too smart, man.
That's just the bottom line, man. It's well, you know how it is. You know, you get bit by the racing bug, and once you're bit, man. You can't stop. You can't slow down. You got to keep going forward, whether it's with your boat or another team member's boat, or in our case, another team and another team, or even just when your team members can't show up. I can't help myself to help out other people. It's just in my blood, man. I just got to do it.
So, Jimmie, you're pretty much a staple in the Jersey Speed Skiff class now. I remember when you started back in, 2001?
Yeah,
was it 2001?
I think it was 1 or 2. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was 2002.
Was it 2002?
No. Oh, no, wait, man. No. It was actually 3.
Was
2003.
it 2003?
3, yep.
Yeah, I remember when you started, you were running the Barney boat.
Yeah,
Courtney's boat now, but yeah, I remember you had that and you ran it for years, and yeah, you've came a long way. I remember one time I think I told this story on the podcast before. I was walking to the pits at Port Deposit one time, and I'm walking behind, about to walk behind your skiff, and I look over and you're sitting there with a hacksaw and your plate on the back.
Oh,
the cat.
Yeah, the cat. Yeah,
I'm like, what in the hell is he doing?
Yeah, that was back in some of the crate. I was actually driving the 100 boat.
The 100. That was the 100. Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah, we weren't. You talk about we weren't too smart, but we weren't afraid to drive much.
Oh, I know. I see that. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, I tell everybody, I don't know how to do it right, but I sure as hell know a lot of the wrong ways.
You got to do it wrong a lot to get it right.
So this is.
Yep.
So I believe this is not your first HRL championship, right?
No, actually, we're lucky. This is actually our second.
Your second. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you're going to back that up and try to come up to HRL next year and defend it?
You know, it's funny. You know, Joan interviewed me at Bahornwall 2 years ago and asked me if I was. So I know you're an independent, but are you going to come race with HRL? I said, I don't know. I got to look into it. I got to talk to my wife Lisa and talk to Peg and see what's what. And we ended up doing it. And like I just said a few minutes ago, once you get bit, you can't stop. So we came back again. So yeah, I'll be the first one to disclose. We got an email today asking everybody to commit. I didn't answer back, but yeah, you know darn well I'll be back.
There you
That's
go.
what I like to hear.
Yeah, it's hard to top. It was hard to top the first win at Valleyfield, even before we were part of this, before Skiffs were a series, and then to come back again, and then to do a three-peat. You know, that was something else. And then of course this year, you know, if you ask Max, he'll tell you that he had me covered. You know, I had the inside lane for the final at Valleyfield if we were going to run it. He said he thought he had me covered. So I guess I won by default because I was the point leader.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. I mean, this year, my only goal this year, this past weekend going into Bahornwall was surprisingly enough, we won each one of the HRL races this year going into Bournemouth, and all we had to do was finish one heat to lock up the championship. But as a racer, you never slow down. You got to keep going. So it was. I played it a little too conservative in the first heat and didn't get a good finish. So Max ended up 1 point ahead of me to actually win Bournemouth. So
No.
I'm happy for those guys. I mean, we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations with that boat this year, and it's running a lot better now than what it was, this time last year. But it's I guess that was my only disappointment of the year is I was hoping to sweep all the HRL events, but there's always it's always a goal for next year.
Exactly. It gives you something to chase next
That
year.
I gotta
Yeah,
say,
that's
Mac,
one tail I'll be chasing, but I think it's gonna be hard to catch.
I gotta say, I think Max's boat this year is the best I've ever seen that boat run ever since it was built. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's funny with all the different boats that I have or in our family fleet and all the other boats that I've driven and um and worked on, that one for whatever reason that's been one of I won't say hard, it's one of the toughest boats to dial in for whatever reason. Abigail's 41 boat, basically a sister boat to that. It was built a lot of years beforehand, but
Yeah.
it came out of the same mold.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, that 45 was, it's just, we've been chasing the setup on it, chasing the setup, chasing the setup, but we're getting closer and closer. And, the way it's running now, I said something to somebody in the pits. They're like, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do to beat Max?" I said, "I'm tired of working on the boat. I think I'm going to pull a plug wire to make sure I win."
Oh
No
man,
doubt.
that's great. Well, you're kind of like the crew chief, so I wouldn't be sabotaging your competition.
Yeah, no, but you know how that is. I can't do it. And
I know.
we got some other people. Mitch Brown jumped on our team this year too to help out. He actually came to every one of the HRL events.
Oh wow.
So he hadn't been to a bunch of boat races in years.
Yeah.
And it did him good. Got him back out. Got the itch going back with him again. And he was a huge help. He helped Sam and Max a ton with just doing little stuff in the pits. I'm working on a couple other boats, so that helped
That's
out
awesome.
a bunch.
Does he still have his skiff?
He does, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's
Okay.
still kind of sitting because it still has damage that. Well, I got to admit that I caused back in. I guess that was 2010, maybe 2010, 2011 in Wildwood. He was
Okay.
part of the
Yeah.
melee in turn one at the start at Wildwood.
I remember
Wow.
that. I was
Yep.
in that heat. I forget who I was riding with, but I was in that heat.
Well, luckily
I
for
was with
you, I'm
someone.
guessing you were on the outside.
I might have.
He was probably late to the start.
I was with Bertola, I
kidding.
think. I was riding with Bertola, I think.
Oh, were you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was probably late on the start.
I don't know, Mike. Mikey used to hit some starts. I'll tell you. That's one thing I've
maybe
been
he was
lacking
inside
this
of
year.
Jimmie.
I haven't made a start. My first start that I made all year, I think, was the the second heat at Bournemouth this
Oh wow.
on Saturday. I can't get within like 3 seconds of the start. Save my life. I feel like I'm chasing everybody down for some
See?
reason.
You're too tired from doing the whole Navy. That's the problem.
I guess.
Got to drop
I don't
one.
know. Well, maybe. Well, it seems weird. I'm out in the shop now, and normally there's at least 3 skiffs in here, but there's only one. So each one of the girls have already taken their boats to their houses because they're all set and ready to go for Mays Landing this coming weekend. So it seems like I guess I got like a night off.
There you go.
So.
Oh, you got to find something to do. You can't give yourself that much relaxation time.
Oh, there's well, you know how it is. There's always something in the shop that needs to be worked on.
Yep, that's for sure. So so you guys are going to Mays Landing, and then you will be down in Hampton. So you guys are still running the whole APBA circuit and finishing that out throughout the end of the year.
Yeah, it seems weird. HRL is coming to a close, and for the most part, here in the East, APBA is just starting. I mean,
Yeah.
this weekend coming up, that's weekend number 1 of I think 6 weekends in a row, 5 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Mays Landing this weekend, and then it's right back up to Lake of Pacong, and then the weekend after that is Hampton, and then the weekend after that Caesar's Creek.
Get a week or two between.
And Lakeland.
You get a week or two off before Lakeland.
That's like a whole
got the
HRL
20-hour
season right there.
Yeah.
Well, as you guys know, I can't stop and can't hold back. So and having a skiff, they have what's called a north-south fun run down in Charlotte on Lake Norman.
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's the weekend after Caesar's Creek. So,
oh wow,
I'll be coming home, pulling the cage out of the skiff, putting the bolster seats in it, and I'll be headed to Charlotte to run the north-south, only to come back to rip those out, put the cage back in to get ready to go to Lakeland. So I'll have 1 weekend off to kind of chill out and make sure I get the cage back in.
That's awesome.
Now talk about that the
is
north-south fun run. Like how much fun is that to be able to take your race boat and go down there and play with them guys and hop around the Lake Norman?
Oh my God! I'll tell you one thing. I'd heard about it for years. They used to have a couple fun runs up in Jersey on Shrewsbury, called Raging on the River. I went to a couple of those a few times. Great group of guys up there too. But I'll tell you one thing. The north-south thing, it brings all the guys from out of Florida and down south, and all the guys up here up north to go down there as well. It's like a happy medium in between. And I think last year when we went, there were, I think it was 37 or 38 skiffs.
Wow.
Yeah. So
the first year I went, you got to talk to some of those guys getting roll cages.
Yeah, I still had the cage in it the first year, and then it's like, you know what? I feel like the ugly stepchild.
Yeah.
Everybody else has got these cool, and a lot of a lot of the boats. A lot of the boats are just pleasure boats built just as quote river boats, but there's quite a few of them that are retired race boats.
Oh,
and
really?
And it's like, wait a minute, if I'm going down there again, I gotta put the other seats in it, and look like just cruise around the river and have a good time. So
yeah, you got to talk some of those guys into putting a roll cage in and coming racing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And here's the name. I don't know if he ever watches this or not, but Mike Allen, famous flat bottom guy, had been talking to me years and years in a row. Every time he came up to Hampton, we talk about skiff stuff, and I don't think he ever wanted to admit to anybody with all the flatties that he really wanted to get into a skiff. But he actually bought a skiff, and he's been cruising around the bayou in his skiff, and he actually is talking about coming up to the north south also. So
oh wow,
yeah.
That's awesome. That's the difference from a flat bottom.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you got it's funny to see how many current and previous people that were affiliated with APBA that come. I mean, Tom Pack comes. He came for the last couple of years that we've been down there. He didn't bring his own boat, but Roger Harris came up from Florida, the guy that's been building all his boats for him for 20 plus years. So Raj came up with his boat, and they cruise around the lake in Raj's boat, and it's great to get away from. Yeah, not that racing is stressful, but it's a lot more laid back when you stand in the parking lot for 2 hours and you look at everybody else's stuff, and then next thing you know, you go out in the river, and what's the plan of the day? Just to see who's got the bigger set of gonads that's going to go faster than anybody else. And then you go to a restaurant and you lie about how fast you went. and then you might have a beer or two, and then see if somebody's balls grew a little bigger that's going to go even faster to the next restaurant where you're going to stop. So
that's awesome.
Man, talk about lying about speed. Must be them Florida guys. They always tend to lie about their speed in the canals.
Oh yeah. And what's funny is then I get there and they're like, "Holy shit, you're so fast! And what motor you got in that?" I said, "That's the same motor I've been running for 2 years. It's a 283. It's all APBA setup." And these guys are running big 355s, 450, 475 horsepower, big cams, running 100 plus octane fuels. And I'm pulling up to the gas pump because I'm out of gas, and I'm putting 87 octane in.
Oh awesome. Man, all about setup.
Yeah.
So one more thing before we let you go. We was looking at the APBA points. You not only won the HRL points, but you're in a points battle for APBA points, being 150 back. So I guess you wrap one up, and now the pressure's on to go chase down Billy and beat Keith Gunther, that's running third in that series.
Yeah, it's got. I'll tell you one thing though. It's going. We came out in APBA at my club's race in Edgewood and had a new motor, trying some different stuff, and it didn't work out for us. And we had a horrible weekend. Unfortunately, had a did not finish, hurt a motor, destroyed a piston, and had a did not start for the next heat. So that really hurt us points wise, hurt us bad. But yeah, hey, anybody and everybody can have a tough day or a tough weekend. You never know what's going to happen. So we'll do the best we can.
So we do have a
boys
question.
Going to be tough. Little Billy doesn't give me. He don't give me an inch. And I know those guys love racing for points, and that's fine. And I'm going to give him a run for his money. Win, lose or draw. I'm going to go out and have a good time, run them hard, and if they win, I'll congratulate them. If I win, we get the same thing in return. And at the end of the season, we'll have to figure out how. I got to make sure I talk to your mom there, Bob, and make sure she's got her pencil real sharp on those points. Make sure we're all good to go.
She's got her Excel sheet.
Well,
that's great.
She was just checking out the HRL point system this weekend and how easy they make it with the app and the computer system, and everything's updated instantly. So maybe APBA inboard can move out of that technology of spreadsheets and scorer sheets and move to the new style stuff, make it easy.
Yeah,
we're spoiled.
they're like most of the classes in APBA. We're kind of in the dark ages.
No doubt.
Hey.
So we do have a question. Kyle Bipes, the Madison Regatta president, wants to know: will you guys be coming to Madison next year?
I know you guys talked about this on another podcast, and I think I even chimed in saying I'd give him a ride. I'll tell you one thing: if I will do my best to try to get as many people to try to commit to go to different places. I know in my class it's hard to get people to travel.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's across the board. It's not just your class.
Yeah, and but it's one of those things. If there's an incentive there, because if it's a title event, or if they're offering prize money or tow money or something like that, it gives them a little incentive. It gets people a little more motivated. As long as it's not a long distance race like that, back to back with something else. I think the chances of us probably getting at least 4 or 5, maybe 6 boats going out is probably pretty strong.
I mean, you're 4.
I think he just said 5 or 6 would work. And I guarantee you, he said we got some tow money. Bring them here. So I guarantee you it'll be good tow money, better than any race that you guys would go to for tow money. I mean,
all right. Well, if he's listening, if he's listening, Kyle, I will do my best to try to do what I can in the off season to try to keep people motivated and try to go to a new venue and do something like that. I know you guys have talked about making the course a little shorter, so if the course is shorter, that will definitely help out. And I know in APBA now we can't do what we used to do with the flag runs for opening ceremonies, that kind of stuff, because of insurance, having to have people have dunk tests and all that kind of stuff. But if we come out, even if he doesn't do a dunk, I'll put some duct tape over the APBA sticker on the side of my boat, and on Friday when I get there, I've got legitimate hole numbers for every one of my boats, so I can be a pleasure boat for a day. I'll take it for a hell ride down the river.
Hey, Jimmy.
There you go.
So your son-in-law says Madison seems like a cool place, and then your daughter Courtney says Jimmie takes his directions from his daughters. I say yes. So she says yes. So you guys are going to Madison next year.
All right. Well, guess what? Then I guess the true loves are going to pony up with some gas money to get out there.
Yeah, there you go. To get the skiff guys out there, most of the skiff guys, we see them in Cambridge or Kentbridge, as I call it. They love to party. So we'll have the Sunrise Party Cove throw a party for them. Kyle Bipes will have that organized as well.
Bipes already said case of beer and hot dogs.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
That's all you need.
If you bring the Stewart Jessel Racing team, we'll bring probably 20 20 cases of Bush Latte, and I bet we can find some people that'll hang out with us.
100%.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But we definitely appreciate you coming on. Celebrate your championship. Obviously, you got the gala in January. You get to go to the Frigid North and celebrate there. Look forward to watching you race the rest of the year. Obviously, maybe get back out with you and Lake Pack on myself. And good luck chasing that APBA high points.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It's an honor being on with you guys and just swapping lives with you. It's a lot of fun watching you guys. I think you guys are doing a great job, and hope to see that JS35 out on the race course soon. And I'm really looking forward to hearing how the test goes with that new rudder I took a look at the other day.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right. And if it don't work out, all right, my fault.
Yeah, exactly. I've tried worse. We'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. You might try worse again. You never know.
Yep, exactly. That's the only way you learn.
Well, congrats and good luck on the rest of your APBA season, bud.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
All right. So we're going to have skiffs at Madison next year, the Indiana Governor's Cup. That's pretty cool.
Worked.
Yeah, actually worked this time.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I mean, obviously it's a river course and people are going to have a tough time on that, being used to these lakes, but well, I guess you race on the St. Lawrence River all the time too. So I kind of forgot that.
those fans in Madison are going to love the skiffs, guaranteed. I mean, those fans there love bow racing, period. But you know, the skiffs are just something that usually isn't at a race like that, and you know, you're going to add that to the mix, and it's just going to be something to make that event even more exciting for next year.
Definitely. So we got our next guest. He flew all the way back to New Zealand. He just got home, just texted me, said he just walked in his door. So hopefully he's not changing or anything now that we bring him in out of the lobby. But let's bring Ken Lupton, the HRL GP champion, in.
What's up, Ken? Congratulations, bud.
So I was surprised you're not sleeping after that long flight going back home, and then now you're going to come back over to San Diego.
I'm actually literally just walking the door now.
How long is that flight?
I got to the Montreal airport at 4:30 on Monday morning after the racing, so I've only just got home now.
Oh, wow. How'd you make it to the airport after
Can't say that
Sunday night?
I had a motel room, but I didn't use it. We went straight to the airport.
Wow.
Nice. Oh. I don't know if that makes the flight easier or worse. I guess it depends on when the hangover kicks in. So talk to us about your year. Obviously you dominated. I think you only broke down one heat out of the whole season. I mean, that's incredible for your team coming all the way from New Zealand. Talk to us about your team and how you made that work.
Yeah, hey, we've got an excellent team. Obviously, it's pretty hard work turning up with two boats, especially coming all the way from New Zealand. So, you can't say enough about our team. Really, they're there, they dig in. Everything seems to be pretty perfect every time we run. You know, everybody has a mishap here and there, but like you say, I think we stopped once throughout the whole season, and we used the same engine all year pretty much. We tested with one engine and used the same engine all year, and same as last year actually. So, all it got was a set of bearings and some new valve springs, and the engine package is really good, and obviously the boat was new last year, so you know what it's like having a new boat. You always got teething problems, and we finally sort of got on top of it this year, and hey, it's still teaching us something every time we go out there. We're always learning something, and it's been great. Like, the team's awesome, support from around, over there, here, everywhere. You know, it's just amazing to be a part of the whole deal. I'm really proud to be able to give some results back to the people that have been following us and the team, everyone that's put all the hard work in. You know, it's been well overdue for them, and it's really good to pay them back some way. And I think winning the championship over there is a pretty cool way to do it for them.
Yeah, just looking on Facebook, I believe you do have the biggest fan base in GP. So it is. So yeah, you definitely gave them a little bit of reward there for winning the HRL championship. So yeah, last year you had a lot of little things just not go your way that just made you have not that great of a year. Just like at Tonawanda, you remember you had a starter that went out, and that's just stuff like that. Throughout the season, you had that stuff, but to turn it around and come back to have such a strong season like you did this year,
yeah, 100%. Like obviously we're learning. It doesn't matter how long you've done it for. I think I've been driving the GP for 20 years. I think it's been. So it doesn't matter how long you do it. You always you always get called out, and in the game that we're in over there with the competition so high and everyone's going so hard, it's just not one lap anymore. It's a 4-lap race. Doesn't matter where you are, somebody's going to keep coming. So I think it's just a matter of keeping a bit of a record and updating your gear more regularly. Like the starter mode. It's always the stupid little things that let you down, and I think that's part of having a really good team and a good team manager. Keeping on top of that stuff and keeping stuff fresh in the boat to be able to be reliable. And you don't only have to be fast. And you used to back in the day, I guess you could be reliable and win some races, but now everyone's so reliable and so fast. So you've it's really picked the whole level up of what's happening in the hydroplane racing scene. It's unbelievable. And you know what it's like. Well, all you guys, you get out there and it's hard 4 laps. No matter what race you're in, it's always hard work. It's never easy.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, notice I think you stayed over here the whole entire summer. Was that a plan to try to win the HRL championship?
I actually flew home 3 times, but only in and out. So I shot home for a week here or 2 weeks there and back again. So I've just got back now, which is Wednesday, hit my time. And I fly out again Wednesday for San Diego. So I'm here for 7 days and come home and see the kids and sort some farm stuff out and sort all the work out and shoot back over there. I think I'll leave again Tuesday from San Diego, come back to New Zealand. So it's a little bit of dash here and there, but it's the only way we can really make it work. Obviously we've got businesses back here and families and bits and pieces, so we've not only just racing, so we've got to get back and sort this stuff out and also have a head in the game when we land back. It's really hard when you go back over there, the time difference, like it is. It's 20 to 1 in the afternoon here at the moment on Wednesday, so the jet lag's a real big factor for it, when you're trying to shoot in and shoot out. But I guess you do it enough times, you get used to it.
Yeah, we see you have a good handle on it. Jack, not so much. He seems to struggle.
100%. That should.
So when you fly back, are you bringing your special big course prop?
I've got a few props, and obviously we run a bit bigger tracks over here, and we also in some races, unlimited race. Obviously, most of the racing we do over here is the same package as what we run over there with you guys. But we have some unlimited races here. We can run the big cheese, the 2,000, 2,500 horsepower engines. So I've got a few gear sets of combinations to run on those big engines. So I'll probably bring some of them back to try and gear the boat up for the course. And being salt water too, so it's been a while since I've sort of ran on a big track in salt water. So I'm going to have to reset the boat up again a bit and drop the strut and bits and pieces, I'm guessing, because it's quite a rather large track.
Well, I don't know if you listened to the last podcast, but I picked you to win it.
No pressure.
So don't let me down.
Yeah, and to go over 170 mile an hour, because that's what we think the speeds are going to be. Knowing what we're running over here on the HRL courses, I think you're going to be moving out there. And like you said, you got to reset the boat up for that and be prepared for that.
I definitely, we're in that 160 marks now, in some tracks, what we're doing over there. And, those long tracks, I'd be surprised. I think 170 is going to be, you're going to have to be doing that or better, maybe, I guess. I think it's, how big those corners are. And some of those guys at a disadvantage in the smaller tracks over there, they can actually get really wound up and get a bit of a move on around the track. So it's going to be really interesting. I think you might see a bit of surprise from a few boats that, that sometimes do struggle. They're going to really perform, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's incredible. We talked about it last week. There's going to be 12 Grand Prix, possibly 13, I've heard. We haven't had that many at a race in a while. It's going to be cool to have all those heats of 4 or 5. And I also heard this past weekend they're going to run 8 Grand Prix in the final. That's, I don't think, been done ever in modern era Grand Prix. So it's going to be exciting. Definitely one to watch. And if you're thinking about going to San Diego, you definitely probably want to go.
I think it'll be great. It'll be a real spectacle. Like you say, 8 GPs, and if they all get to the start line on time, I think the first corner is going to be very, very interesting.
I just
It
can't
will be.
imagine being like lane 3 or 4 and just like feeling all of that vibration and just power going
Around
into
you.
that. That would just be insane.
No, it'll be one for the books.
Definitely.
So, what is your future plans? You know, there's always been rumors if you guys won Valleyfield and the championship that, you know, you reached your goal and that you guys were, you know, wouldn't come over anymore. What do you want to speak on your future plans, or just want to hold off on that?
No, that hasn't really been our goal the whole way along. Our goal obviously has been to win Valleyfield. That was something growing up. You sort of watched it on the YouTube, you know, back in the day, the Tourette's and those guys. You know, it's something we always wanted to do, and then we got the opportunity to come over and do it that first year in 18 or 19 or whenever it was. So, and then it's, you know what the sport's like. It's a little bit of addiction. Once you start, you can't stop. So, but it's really, honestly, it really depends on. Obviously, it's a hobby for us, like most people, and we've still got our businesses back in New Zealand, and you know, you can have a good year, bad year with business and stuff like that. So you can't. I'm not saying definitely no, I'm not coming back over. Obviously, I'm leaving. I've got a boat over there. It's staying there. The engines are staying there. So if that sort of says anything, so at this stage, yeah, 100%, 100%, I'm coming back. And like obviously, I'm only getting older, so I'm going to run out of years to be able to win that race. So.
I mean, I think I speak for everyone when I say this. I mean, it's not just enjoyable to have you, Jack, and your dad and the whole family around, but I think you guys pretty much became a staple in the HRL GP class. Like, we love having you guys around, and it just feels normal now. It's not like, oh yeah, they're over here. It's just like you show up, oh, there's the Luftons.
I will.
Yeah.
So it's just natural to have you guys over here, and it's great.
Hey, for us on our side, you know, you come in to race the best in the world. That's where it all happens. You know, Valleyfield, the HRL series. You got the best boats between America, Canada. You know, like what else can you ask for? You know, when you line up to race them guys over there, you're running against the best, and I think that's what we all want to do as racers. We want to go racing. We want to run races on the water, and we want to race the best out there. So I believe that's where it's at. So New Zealand's very strong. I think we've got 12 GPs this year in New Zealand coming up. So that's going to be pretty cool. And obviously there's a lot of good boats here now with you know, some of my old boats and Dave Alexander's boats, Jack's boats that's been brought back in here, and the other guys' boats too. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see what happens here this year. And it's not going to be as easy as it has been in the past, you know, to be able to win races just as like it is over there. So obviously it's a bit of an advantage for us being able to run over here and the classes over here, and then sort of a few months later jump on a plane and come over there and race. So you're a little bit accustomed to the seat. So it does make a bit of a difference. But, you know, like I still come back to the pinnacle of the sport seems to be over there, Valleyfield. You know, doesn't matter how many times you go there or what race you're in, you always know when you're going to hit that start button. It's going to be one hell of a race no matter what race you're in. So it's it's something you can't beat the feeling, you know, and it's something it's hard to get out of. So I think we'll probably keep coming back at this stage anyway.
That's awesome. Good. Yeah, we got to have a repeat of the lineup of Valleyfield final this year because, like we said and talked about it Friday night. I mean, that was going to be a barn burner. I don't know who was going to win, but it was going to be one the fans would talk about for a long time.
I think there would have been a bit of carnage. It would have been very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Like we talk about, in this day and age of Grand Prix, not too many fans probably realize, but there's a lot of heats where there is zero lifting. We just hold that thing. And Grand Prix of the past 5, 6, 7 years ago, you could lift and settle in. Not anymore. There's none of that. We're pushing these boats to the limits. And what I think is incredible is our attrition's been the best it's been in years. So it just goes to show you the package that obviously HRL built with the motors and stuff like that, and everyone learning, like you said earlier, you just change out parts prior to them becoming a failure. And the class is pretty easy to run. And
100%. Like the nutrition's obviously one thing, but it's the speed they're going now and the times you're getting around those racetracks. Just if you look back at the times in the last 5 years, what they have been in the last few years, it's just tremendous how much faster everybody's got, you know, and maybe not so much top end, but just how they're getting around the racetrack just seems to be like it's astonishing really how fast we can actually get those boats around that racetrack without wrecking a whole lot more gear. Really, it's a credit to all the teams, all the drivers. They obviously do an outstanding job, and I think for the spectator point of view, I don't think they can ask for much more. They're on the edge of these boats, so it's only a matter of a little mistake, and they're going to get a show they want to come and see, I guess.
Definitely, yeah. I was actually just talking to Jan Thurett about that this weekend. That obviously when he ran, that was the pinnacle boat. That was the best boat in the field. Had 2,500 horsepower, and now us with 1,400 horsepower are getting around Valleyfield about as fast or faster than he did. That just shows you the incredible of however the technology's come, and all of us kind of just upping each other's game until one gets ahead, but I don't think there's any getting.
No, I
ahead
think
right
by
now.
bringing the engine package back to improve the drivers too. The drivers have actually had to pick their A game up to be fast. Like when it's a restricted class where everyone's got the same equipment. It comes down to your boat setup and the driver, and everyone's just pushing themselves that much harder now. And you can see that on the water. You watch some of those races from years ago, like the boats are pretty stable. There's not many laps where these boats are that stable. They seem to be airborne most straights, and that shows you that they're getting pushed.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple pictures from Beauharnois that everyone was just getting light down that front stretch. Especially there was some weird water going in the first turn because everyone was taking some weird hops there. But yeah, you guys are definitely pushing it the whole season. It was definitely fun to watch. So your season over there starts up
Yes,
in
our
2
first
months?
round is end of November, start of December, so that's our first round there. And we do 5 rounds, so we got 2 at the same venue, and then we go into Couturier, which is obviously the big one. That's the best water that we some of the best water we race in New Zealand. Then we've got 2 islands. We've got the North Island, the South Island. So then we do the first 3 in the North Island, then we put the boats on a ferry across to the South Island. We do 2 meetings down the South Island, where you see some of the videos and the pictures up in the mountains. You see the mountains in the background. So that's down the South Island. So we go and do 2 big meetings down there because we've got quite a few boats in the South Island too. So we sort of split it up between the 2 islands, and yeah, it'll be a good series. Like I say, 12 boats, and every year they're getting better and better as well. Some of these guys have only had the boats for a couple of years, and they're coming accustomed to them. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes this year. And everyone's running the 468 package with 871. So that's pretty cool to see. It's obviously boosted the sport over there, and it's done the same for us here. And we've got more and more people interested in coming into the sport. So it's pretty cool to be part of both series, really.
Yeah, definitely. What you guys have done with the Hydro Thunder series down there has been incredible. It's again one of those things when you see another series doing it, you obviously got to jump on board because it works. And this is proof in the pudding that 2 of them have done it, and your constant growth. I mean, it's exciting to watch. I love watching you guys all winter. It gives me motivation, and trust me, I'm watching your driving. I'm gonna figure something out.
Does that mean I'm gonna have a target on my back?
Yeah, definitely. Yep, for sure. Don't gain an inch because I'm gonna know where you gained it. Like your dad said, he's been watching my onboard. I'm like, dang, I gotta stop posting that.
The feeling's mutual. Trust me.
So what was the highlight of your season? What was your favorite thing throughout the season?
I just think that racing in general, it's just there's been some really cool battles out on those racetracks, and just the way everybody races together. I think, everyone welcomes you in. Everybody races hard and fair, and, there's not probably one race meeting we went to that was like, oh, this is a bit boring, it's every race meeting was pretty cool this year, everyone was reliable, everyone was fast. Obviously when you get to some of those finals and you race a final and you win a final, that's a pretty cool achievement. So I think we won 1 or 2 finals or whatever it was. And that's a pretty cool achievement to do that. And obviously that was one of my highlights. And then, finishing the season off winning the championship, well, I never thought that it'd be possible. And just because, how many meetings you have over there and us having to travel from New Zealand backwards and forwards, and how we stuck at it and keep coming back. And it was, like I say, that's got to be an achievement. It's something I've ticked off the books. I've been there, done it now, and obviously Valleyfield's still on the book to tick, and that's something I really want to do. But no, it was really cool to win the series. Obviously, win the championship, which is I'm sure anybody would love to do it and loves doing it. So no, that'd have to be the highlight, knowing that all the hard work that not just myself, but the whole team, the supporters, the backers, the HRL group, the whole series they put on, and all the other competitors. It's just pretty cool to know that you've been a part of it and you've come away with first place for the year. It's pretty cool.
Definitely. I'm glad, obviously, finishing second to you kind of sucks, but if anybody, I'm glad it was you guys for everything you put in the sport, what you've given back to Grand Prix in the past few years. Like I said, made the competition level better. One thing I love seeing this year, if you got to ask me, is Huey being, down the ladder a bit after chasing that Steeler for all these years. It was kind of nice to see all of us kind of jump ahead, so that they're going to be back next year. That's probably why they took off Bahorma, so they can start prepping for next year.
It's probably a bit of a shame that we didn't get to run the final at Bahorma either. It was we had the race, or me and you were in that race together on the Saturday, and I sort of had a plan. I didn't want to push anything too hard. I wanted to finish, and we sort of got to that start-finish line. I was like, coming out of that corner, I was like, oh, I don't really want to take my foot out of this. I want to have a race. Took me the whole straight to use my brain to take my foot out of it because I wasn't really going. And I was just sitting in my boat. This is exactly what Brendan wants me to do. I should stop this.
Yep, exactly. It's funny how we lose our brain for a little bit.
I had to use my brain. It took a while. It took probably 500 meters to click in and go, I need to slow down.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw you guys actually have a race meeting the weekend of the gala, so that kind of stinks you can't come over here and celebrate. Who's going to take your place and celebrate? Who's going to go up there and get your trophy for you?
We'll see how we go. We've got to get through. We've got to get through the first round over here first, obviously. So, hey, I'm not saying I won't come over there. You never know. I might, if I do decide to come, I might be able to throw someone in my boat for the weekend, or I don't know. We'll just see what happens. I'm definitely not saying no. So, we'll see how we go.
Be one hell of a party.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Well, we appreciate you coming on with us, especially after traveling home. Congratulations again on the HRL championship, and look forward to watching you.
Thank you, and congratulations to everyone else that ran for the season and the championships they won and podiums or whatever they've got. And awesome being a part of it, and thank you guys for having me on here.
Of course.
Yeah. Thanks, you. Guys. Congratulations, bud.
Congrats.
Great year.
You too, mate. See you later.
Have a good one.
Hey, do we...
There we have it, boys. They're coming back.
Oh, man. That's
they'll
great.
They'll be faster.
Sure.
They're coming back, and they'll be faster.
Got all winter of racing. They get more test time than any of us, and I mean, crazy that they went to the HRL package. Obviously, it's consistent. Like you said, he's run that motor for 2 years. That's about what we've run ours for when they live.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, but just think they go from racing here, and then they have a couple months break, and then a couple months break, and then they go back into their racing season. And then after that, they get a few months break, and then they go back into a racing season. That's a life right there. That's pretty cool. That's Definitely. A lot of work, though. That is a lot of work, especially running a Grand Prix. 2.5 stock. I take 2.5 stock and run every weekend all year round, but.
Well, you could be like Ken Henderson, push it in the corner, and then come out and still beat everybody the next year.
Ken Henderson with his 2.5, he'd take the leaf blower to it, blow it off, and like, okay, let's go racing.
True story, folks. True story.
Yeah. So,
but speaking of, go ahead.
Leaf blowers, 2.5 stocks.
Well,
we got the Honda man.
Yeah, them Hondas.
Oh.
We got Eddie Canfouche on again. He's been waiting in the lobby a little bit, so if he's not pleasant,
we're letting him in.
We'll see.
He's been waiting.
You're going to know with us, folks.
Congrats.
What's
Eddie
up, buddy?
Campouche, F2500 champion. Congratulations, bud.
That sounds nice. Thank you.
That's awesome. What I tell you is just another race.
Just another race.
Just another race.
But I think I might have driven a little harder this past weekend than I have all year.
That's awesome. Wouldn't expect anything less. You did really good. It was awesome. Great year, bud.
Thank you.
So obviously all that off-season work paid off. You guys shaved every layer of paint off that boat. What we've been talking about all night is the preparation is what wins championships, wins races. Talk to us about that.
I think we took the Sanders to the boat for the first time in the middle of February, and the boat was not painted until I think about a week before Cambridge was when it was finally done. So we took a lot of weight off for that. And then the other thing, I don't know how many people know, we actually have 2 Honda engines. We got the first one, we ordered it a couple years ago. We got it in Sorel last year and had it sitting under a shelf for a little while. We put that in the boat, went testing here, went testing in Cedar Creek, developed some sort of issue that we weren't able to figure out. And we had the second engine on order. It was up in Valleyfield. So we got that engine and put it in the boat the day before we left for Cambridge.
Wow.
So there was a lot of hours spent in that shop for the months leading up to the season. It was nice for it to pay off.
Yeah, nothing like taking a risk at the first race of the year. It's either going to work out or you're done for the championship right off the bat.
So your father's in the chat, and he said that you need a haircut now.
Nah, Fabio's looking good.
Every day.
Got a little far quad.
Your dad has had the same haircut since he cut the mullet off back.
I was going to say, he had a mullet for a while that was pretty close to this length, if I remember.
So if we're talking about Eddie now winning like Dan used to, does this mean Eddie needs the mullet like he used to?
No.
Yes.
No mullets.
Yes.
I mean,
we're not doing the mullet.
Shave the sides. Shave the sides.
We're not doing the mullet.
Bring it in.
I'll wear the New Balances before I shave my head into a mullet.
But can you ride up on a scooter like your dad does?
No one has that talent.
You ride up on the scooter, then you hop off.
No one.
And just
no
do
one
an
has
interview?
the absolute aura that he has riding up on that scooter all day.
No.
That was pretty premiere. I mean,
that was great.
He had to do a couple
like
takes
the
of that
start
too.
of a dirty movie.
There were a couple takes. I think the first one he slid out of frame.
Came in a little too hot.
I think we need the monkey bars for him.
So, what was your besides you winning the championship? I believe you locked it up on Saturday afternoon, the second heat, or was it Sunday? The first heat. First heat Sunday. Okay. Besides that heat, what was your highlight during the season? What was your favorite thing?
There's a few of them. The final in Cambridge was awesome. Obviously, first win in 2500. That was was all execution on the start. Really, every heat is when you do well in this class.
Yeah.
That Friday final in Valleyfield, as much as it hurts to lose by about 2 feet at the line, that was a really great race with Grant. And really, the first qualifier on Saturday this past weekend in Bahornwell was probably the hardest I've ever driven that boat, running against John.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Did you guys hit coming out of the second turn?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was. I was like half asleep on the couch.
It was a light tap.
It was just like every time I was like,
just a tap.
Just a light tap. The amount of people that didn't know whether or not we hit means it was a light enough tap that you get away with it.
Oh, I knew you hit. I seen on a live stream. I'm like, I know when two boats hit. They hit.
It didn't upset either one of us.
Bobby's
just ask Dan.
Bobby's hit enough boats in his day. He knows when they hit.
Dan and Bob, John and Bob, Brandon and
Bob's
Bob.
retired a few people by running them over.
Yeah, pretty much.
So all right. You last year you ran the 2500. Now you stepped in the F class. Well, you were in the F class last year. You ran 2500. You ran the Honda this year. You're one of few drivers that done both. Give us a comparison of both.
They are more similar than you'd think. But I think, honestly, the big difference is you notice the Honda pulling a little more. But so the Ford, it pulls hard from low RPMs, and it kind of peters out towards the top. You never really run out, so to speak.
Yeah.
It just keeps going, but gets, the acceleration is slower and slower. With the Honda, it goes, and then you hit the limiter. And it pulls quite a bit.
Stops.
Yeah, it stops, and then it upsets the boat a lot. But it's a fine line because, if you try to gear too big, you don't get off the corner with the Fords, and they're gone by turn 1. So you really have to. It's a delicate balance to get that thing to run in the window. But when you do, they're, though I think this year proved every bit that the Fords can be just as fast as the Hondas. Grant and I think we're within a second for our best times pretty much every weekend.
For sure. Yeah, you could definitely tell there was different race courses that benefited each one, which made it kind of cool. I know there's been lots of talk of should they split the class, should they do this, but I feel like the good Fords are definitely up there with the Hondas. I think the only benefit I see to the Hondas at this point is doesn't take a good one to run. They're all the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people with not as much knowledge of the Fords, obviously you had your dad, so you had one of the best Fords out there. So your comparison isn't as much as some of these others that go from like a mediocre Ford to a Honda. That's definitely the cool thing. And I think the great thing about the future of it, and hopefully things continue to grow with that.
Yeah, I think having a sealed engine will bring everybody just that much closer together. You're not wondering if this person has 10 more horsepower than you. You're like, all right, they're within like 3. So then you're coming down to, all right, who has the best boat setup, who's driving the best, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
that's exciting. So tell me, maybe it's a top secret, but why did a sealed motor have to go get torn down?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have the answer
I
either.
Don't have,
There's a lot of us in the dark that ask that question.
All I know is they took
I know
the
answer, but I'm not saying.
All I know is if you fail inspection with a
Chasin
sealed
Tails
motor,
exclusive.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like come on now.
The funny thing is there's multiple Hondas getting inspected now. They're gonna be like, why doesn't this part match this one in this engine?
Oh man, what are we about to find
it's not good. I don't think it's going to be like that, but no, it's but yeah, now you got to pay to get it put back together after it's sealed.
I don't know anything about that. That's not my department. I stab and steer.
You got to know the specs to be able to inspect.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so
yes. So what's your biggest changes this winter? What are you guys going to be working on that you can tell the podcast? Obviously, a lot of stuff
biggest
secretive.
Thing we're working on this winter that I can
shaving the sides.
Right now, it's Joe Less's boat.
It's not that tore up, man.
Is it?
No.
Is it using that elliptical behind you?
I lost almost 20 pounds by the time we hit Valleyfield.
Yo, tell me how. Tell me how, because that's my winter work.
That thing, and
I'm gonna have to give me
cutting
one.
back on the snacks a little bit. That's the plan this winter. Is try to get a little.
That's how you
down.
win a championship.
Less blacktop work,
or
the black stone. There we go. That sounded a little bad.
So answer me this: getting off the HRL subject a little bit. Have you made any improvements on the 2.5 stock for the HydroSim?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna be why.
It has been months. It's been
it's
8-9
been
months.
over a year now.
There's
fundamental issues with it that I am not smart enough to fix. I'll leave. Well,
so they're fun for mental.
I call bullshit on that one.
You want to come try it? I'll let you try it. It doesn't work right.
Well, then get your dad on it. Your dad's smart enough.
You could probably figure it out.
I have been seeing a lot of updates. I don't know. I don't know why I'm in the HRL or the HydroSim development group on Discord, but that thing was blowing up the other day. I saw so many different unlimited fins and tail wings and stuff. I'm like, good Lord. Let's get some
Austin,
GP work.
Remind me to send the pedals and steering wheel to
dude. You're talking.
Yep, he just said it too.
I actually moved it towards in my garage towards the door, so I pass it every time, and I look down.
We're just that much closer.
I just don't know where the pedals are, man.
Speaking of him and the Chasin Tails y'all are trying to start, this weekend Ronnie was talking about him, something about shirts or something, and he's like, that guy boops beeps. I was like, dude, if you say bippity boppity boop, that's gonna be his new name.
I think that's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt idea.
Yep, definitely. I need to get my own t-shirt maker.
I have
we gotta go back at him a little bit.
Here. I'm making one.
I do tell you what, we ran out of Bowie Hunter shirts.
Did you
this
really?
year. We only have a 3X and we only have a 3X and a 4X left, and I don't know why Kyle Bikes made 3X.
We have Brian Montgomery's got a video from the docks on, I think it was on Saturday, when Derek Anderson hit that buoy.
Smoked that.
He came back. There's a video Brian has of him on the dock. Derek gets out of the cockpit, walks to the front of the boat, pulls the buoy off the sponson, and immediately yells, "I want my shirt!" So I think you guys got a quota to fill. I think you need more shirts.
Like, I don't. All right. So before this all started, you'd have a buoy hit here and there. Since we started this buoy hunter club, it's like every heat, boom, boom, boom. It's like, guys, you got to stop hitting buoys.
Bob, I know you got an affinity.
We're going to start
for
finding
just
people.
Wants to be like you.
I don't.
You got a little bit of prestige there.
I actually no. I got 2 buoys last year, but before that, I probably haven't gotten a buoy in 15 years.
Yeah, but the problem is you hit 2 of them in the same heat.
That's because the skid fin wasn't set up right.
Yeah.
And I told Greg, I was like, "This skid fin's not set up right." He goes, "Oh well, I'll check it when I get home." I'm like, "We can adjust it
so
right."
Your solution to the fin not being right was put it on the buoy row. Gutsy call.
Yeah,
that way he didn't mess anybody else up.
Call.
He can only mess himself up.
Why would I give Grant Hearn or John Shaw the inside? I can't do that.
It's a great question.
Nope.
Instead of you let both your brothers beat you.
Never gonna live it down.
So technically you beat me, but physically you didn't. Actually, no, I didn't even finish the race. I had a buoy stuck to the thing, and it was like blowing up like a balloon. It was like under the water, blowing up, just like. So I was towing like a water-filled buoy.
I know we're supposed to be talking about Bonjour, but I am more than happy to keep this train rolling.
No, okay, we can change now.
I don't think we've talked about.
Let's get Kyle in here.
Well,
Let's get Kyle in here. It's the roast of Bobby now.
So, all right, How about let's
do you
touch
see his title that we gave him?
No,
I do. I was gonna make a comment about that.
So I want to hear all season. It was you and Grant Liddycoat battling it out. How did that go? Like, tell us about it.
He beat me a whole bunch. I know that. It went great. It was Grant's a good friend, and he's a really good driver, and he's only going to get better. So he was there on his starts. He had one in Valleyfield that I was sure he was over, and I was told he was sitting on the line at 0. And
we'll see it at the gala.
That kid knows what he's doing. Oh, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was great. I love racing with everyone in that class, but it pains me to say this because I'm not that old, but I watched Grant grow up a little bit, so it's cool. It's fun.
Now you know now you know how it feels to say that.
Yeah, but you're like a million years old, so you've watched everybody
from here, bud.
Oh man, that's rough. So yeah, you guys had some really good battles. Now here's the question: do you think they're going to stick with the Honda? Stick with the Ford or go with the Honda next year?
That's a great question. That's a question for the Liddycoats, I think. I'm not privy to any sort of information like that.
They only have team meetings at bars, and last time I know, you don't get too much done drinking when you're drinking. So.
They must get a lot done.
They're definitely not talking
because
about.
They're constantly at team meetings, but they also seem to get a lot done.
You're definitely not talking about Hondas at a bar.
No, so you're going to stay in 2.5 next year, or F class next year, or you guys going to try to get one of those 350s up and running?
The plan as of now is to try to defend 2,500. I don't, anything can change, but right now, 2,500. Got a little more learning to do. Had Tonawanda set me back a little bit. I lost my brain, I think.
See if you guys can't get 2 of the less boats in the top 3 for 2,500 next year.
That'd be fun.
That'd be pretty cool.
I get to race with Kenny this year. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Now, will there be any team orders? To be determined.
There might be team orders. I don't know that they're actually happening.
Right, exactly. As long as y'all race clean, I'm sure it's going to be all right.
You know how it is when they're talking to you on the radio and you hear something you don't totally want to hear. You're like, yeah, it's not important.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just kind of like, oh, that's Bob talking.
Hey, we love you, my radio's in my lake. It wasn't that bad.
Bob.
I was going to say, he did get the best compliment I've heard all year. Bobby King said that he was a really good radio person.
He wasn't that bad. He's really good at radio checks. You should ask him about that later.
Die.
You generally, when you're doing a radio check, people already have the radio plugged in.
That's why you do the
so
check.
Only you can hear them. He had it unplugged, so when I gave a radio check, everyone heard what I said.
Oh God!
When you're doing a radio check,
I'm sure that wasn't too polite either.
You can only imagine, right?
You got to give it the Bobby radio check.
Eddie, I have to ask: have you been strapped in by Bob?
I don't think I want to.
You don't. I couldn't remember. I know
idea.
I have. Mason has. Kyle has. It all usually ends the same way with you trying to breathe as you get onto the course. With something in your stomach.
Yeah. I think Bob did my radios once in Valleyfield, and I think we were talking about the girls in the stands and whether we were going to have poutine or grillades after the race.
Yeah,
during
that
the race
didn't go very well for Brandon.
Wasn't
We
too
don't really know
focused.
why.
Actually, I think the funnest on the radios, me and Brandon were out in the course on the same radios.
That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, and 2.5 stock.
And the 2.5. Yeah, we were talking to each other while we were racing.
It was very good. That was the double Dutch rudder weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Our radios would have been real fun if I was able to talk back to you in my lake. We're both lucky it was one way.
Next time I do your radios, you got to make sure you have a microphone so we can talk to each other.
So one question that was just asked is, your dad going to put the 2.5 motor back in that boat and come play, maybe go for the U.S. Nationals down in Hampton?
Things are being talked about. I'm not sure what's in the cards. I don't know. I think we're going to try to pick up another one at least.
That'd be awesome.
Come to Caesar's
we got
Creek.
What's going on with Caesar Creek?
Come to Caesar's Creek.
You driving something in Caesar Creek?
Come to Caesar's Creek.
I don't know.
Oh, we're definitely
Come
going
to Caesar's Creek.
Yeah, there you go.
We got to get the engine back together. It's been sitting without a crankshaft for the last few months, but
just take little Kenny's.
Just take your dad's golf clubs and it'll happen.
That's what I told him when he was coming to Mott and said something about it. I'm just like, take your dad's golf clubs. Like, just screw up his weekend.
You come home, he's got another bag sitting in the garage. There's probably like four sets of clubs up there just in case.
He'd be so pissed.
He's just going out. I needed new clubs anyway, so I guess I get to buy them now.
Good luck setting that boat up next year.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's cool.
Go ahead, Bob.
So how was the rest of the team? You're not just a one boat team. You got KB3, you got KB2, you have Joe last, you have Don last. How did they feel when you won the championship?
Everyone was in a good mood.
Yeah,
everyone was in a great mood. We won the championship. Kenny was sitting third at the time. Ken wasn't super happy about the GP, hurt a motor. So that was a bit of a downer. Joe had to one-up me about a heat later. That was a bit of a downer.
He is a frequent flyer.
Wow. No, but I don't think I'll ever forget.
He's racked up
I don't think I'll ever forget getting to call Don, because I had called him after that heat on Sunday, and he didn't know about the penalty for Grant. So I actually got to tell him.
Oh wow!
So that was pretty special.
That's cool. That is cool. That's
nice,
especially with everything he's done for the GP50 team the past few years, doubling down on having more boats.
We had 2 boats 2 years ago.
Like I said,
and they keep multiplying. I don't know where they're coming from.
Somebody better wrap it up. That's all I can say. But yeah, he's definitely great for the sport. I've always loved, like I said, last time you were on, I think we talked about like watching him videotape all the races, and he's going back analyzing that. Always built unique boats, like just super cool. And glad to have you guys having all the success you're having.
Come back to the dock after something happens, and he's like, "Why'd you do that?" what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he knows.
Walks into our box trailer after the final. I wasn't very happy with myself. He goes, "Well, I never really liked Lane 1 anyway."
Nice. I did have a nice conversation with your mom, Lynn, this weekend, and talking about how you never really cared to get in a boat. They tried to get you in a J stock. You didn't really care. And then all of a sudden you got on the HydroSim and you came down and said, "Mom, I think I want to race a boat." And she's like, "You better find somebody to drive for."
Yeah, that was the
I guess you did the work.
That was the reaction. No, it was it was the kind of thing where I had always thought I never wanted to do it. And thinking back now, I did want to do it. I just didn't really know. But my biggest problem was I didn't want to get tossed. I didn't want to get in one of those outboards because you could end up in the water in a hurry. So, but
definitely
starting to play
HydroSim, I feel you there.
I don't know. It just became something a little more for me than it was, and it was already a huge part of my life.
Then you didn't have the fear of getting tossed in the water, so.
No, now we got that fitted seat too.
Right.
I'm secure in that cockpit, and now it's getting sketchy. I almost blew over.
Now the fear is starting to get less and less.
It was a little dangerous.
Yeah. You only get so many almost until you got done.
I thought that was it right there. Going into one, the boat picked up, and I was it hung for a little while. My immediate thought, because it was right at the entrance pin. I don't know if you remember Lake Apacon a couple years ago with Grant Hearn and Steve Armstrong. Mm-hmm. That picture with Steve totally sideways in the tail. I was like, "Here it comes," and it settled right before I turned the wheel, just in time. So
I tell you what, I think that Loch Ness monster that was in Cambridge at the beginning of the year was in the entry of turn 1 this weekend, because I've never had a boat do the weird thing it did. I was like, where did this come from?
Is there like a water outlet there? Is there a stream that feeds into the river there? There's got to be something.
I have no clue.
Something. It was from the live stream. It was ugly, whatever it was, because everyone was hitting it. I mean, John Shaw, I thought he was going over. I was like,
"You're telling me."
And then he stopped like at the entrance pin. I'm like, yeah, he's cleaning up because he just crapped himself. Because he almost lost it. And then the next heat, and then the next heat, and then even the GPs did it. I'm like, GPs can go over a lot of stuff, but they were hitting it too.
Bob texted in the group chat and it's like, something's at the entry. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's affecting the boats. I said, ain't gonna affect me and damn about.
I was gonna say, I saw that screenshot. Turn 1. That was the same thing I hit.
Yep. Bobby, on the live stream, did you hear Elijah scream? He said he screamed pretty loud. I bet it.
He told me that in that first heat, after John and I hit, he had to look away. He was like, "I couldn't watch until someone told me it was okay."
That's a dedicated crew man right there.
Really gratefully caring for my safety to pay attention.
So this is what. Obviously, Elijah's going to be his crew now, and he's going to be coming to a lot of future races. Maybe we just need to set up like a self-facing GoPro on him whenever he's racing. Get some good Chasin Tails.
We're getting a selfie stick and telling him to hold it all heat and see what happens.
Yeah. I bet he drops it.
You should hear him when we're watching races on live streams. He's very passionate.
He almost as bad as having a camera on Aunt Patty. There's a lot of times she's live streaming when we're not there, and I'm like, I can't watch her. Is anybody else doing live stream?
At both at times.
Thank God there's people are
both
live
times
streaming
now. I had a little spin out in the skiff. You just see the phone get airborne. And just see it just.
I was gonna say, when you guys had your little incident in Decatur.
Oh yeah.
That run in Decatur. That stream, the phone pointed at the ground and never came back up.
No. Nope.
Elijah just said, "I wouldn't get anything in frame. I run away too much."
He's not wrong.
We love Elijah.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch him at the
Big
next
teddy bear.
We need an official Chasin Tails Elijah cam, and I'll get one going in
man,
San Diego.
Dude, that's awesome. Oh, man.
That's awesome. So anything else you want to add on your championship season? Anybody you want to thank?
There's too many people. There's so many people on the team.
Okay, then we'll save it for one of your Facebook posts.
First, we can start off with your mom and your
We're
dad.
there already. Yeah. Mom, dad, girlfriend.
There you go.
Brothers. Everyone on the team. It's weird because even when I'm writing those posts, I'm like, I got to think of everyone. And then I inevitably leave someone off and I feel terrible about it.
Yep.
So then I have to
see.
That's why I stopped thanking people.
You have brothers.
I got 2 brothers.
Yeah, he has 2 brothers.
I don't know why I don't think I've ever met them.
Well, they used to come around all the time. Now they only come around when Eddie's about to win the championship.
Yeah, I don't.
They came around before Eddie, and now they left. Eddie took the limelight.
Yeah.
So
Pushed him in a corner.
Yeah, you just said that. I was like,
That's it.
Brothers.
Half brothers.
Shit.
A bit older. My dad's yelling at me from upstairs. I have no idea what he just said. Something about Bonjour.
Oh, can he ride that scooter downstairs? Let's see him ride it down the steps.
Just get him on the electric. That's close enough.
He rolls up. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm the radio
going-
man for the F500.
Through the
Team
wall.
shirt on.
We
Kool-Aid man.
Kool-Aid man.
Kool-Aid
Oh,
Dan.
yeah.
Kool-Aid Dan. Oh, yeah.
we do have a cool episode we're going to plan for this winter when we have a little bit more time of him and Mike Monahan sharing war stories from all their
Bob,
years of
you're
racing.
Not safe.
I'm not even going to go.
Doesn't matter if
We
you
go
Sarah
live
or
for
not.
that one.
I think you go live.
That's a scary live. We'll be sitting there with that censor button. Just
Yeah.
I think you go live, and you go live about 2 hours early. Just let it run.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a lot of course light.
Yeah, for sure.
Man. That'll be interesting.
Oh,
I'm not saying I'm excited for it, but
Oh, I
be
am.
interesting.
yeah.
Oh boy, am I!
Oh
It'll be
man,
a
we
good
got.
I'm making posters and t-shirts.
I'm gonna have to be the host of that show and figure out how I can mute people real quick.
Yeah, that's well. See, we have 2 hosts in here tonight, me and Austin, and Beep Beep was in the lobby for a while, but I guess
Yeah,
he gave
me-
up. He even put his name as
Me
Beep Beep.
and Brandon just
Oh,
kind of
man.
made eye contact as soon as it popped up, and I was like, "Do we do it? Do we do it?" He didn't press it, so I didn't.
Yeah,
press it.
we're gonna have him back. We'll have him back on soon. You didn't lose your rights there, Kyle, but sometimes we got to be.
You know what you do is you bring Kyle
Somewhat
on for that
serious.
episode with my dad and Monahan, and make it like a
Oh,
campfire,
no.
telling stories that
Yup.
Kyle's never heard before.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll chime in
Oh
on
boy, I'd be disappointed if he didn't.
them. Yeah, we're trying to get Fred on. We're gonna,
Cut me off
it's gonna
if
be
you got
our
it.
first one of the non-French, non-English speaking person, but we're gonna
that'll
make it
be
work.
fun.
He's about to join in. He'll be in the lobby soon. But while we're waiting on him, Eddie, besides the Formula 2500 and obviously all your races this year, is there one heat or any heats that stand out to you from the HRL season?
There were a couple this weekend that were good. One that really sticks out in my mind was the Fog 350 heat on Saturday when the rain started coming down. You had a 3-wide battle for, I think, probably 95% of the heat.
Yeah.
That was a good race. There were so many good heats all year. There was one that sticks out to me that I don't remember who he was racing against, but Tyler ended up winning in the 350 in Sorel right at the very last second. Jacob and Kyle and Sorel was good. There's been so many. It was a good year for racing.
Did I miss
For
that?
sure.
That Tyler won a heat finally this year?
Wow.
Definitely missed
He
it.
had a rough
He
year.
did have a
man.
rough year.
I love
won
Tyler.
a heat in Sorel, I believe, and it was right
Did he?
to the
But
end.
I'm glad they finally got it running because all season he was struggling.
Well, Sorel was the second race
that
of the
they just
season.
couldn't figure it
No,
out.
they found a lot of problems throughout
I'm
the year.
thinking Bonjour.
He got a lot better. I
he
was
just didn't
making
have a
fun
good
of him.
year-
No,
good year.
we're airing it out here. I was making fun of him because he finished second in his second heat, but my first heat time was faster.
Wow. Oh man. Dang. You can always use that one against him for sure.
I was looking at the times. There, I got some ammo on some people.
This,
How you gonna let that happen?
This is more proof that we should do shootouts.
Yep. Exactly.
Dude, I want to do that so bad.
It would be sweet.
All the talk about it. If it doesn't happen in Decatur next year,
Sean
I'm
and
gonna be
Nikki,
very
let's
disappointed,
do it.
I think
I know
that's the
you're
place to
watching.
do
Let's
it.
do it.
And they've talked about it. I think it can happen.
I want to do that real bad. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, awkward.
I was gonna say,
Bob,
Bob
you
would
got
go to
nothing to
sleep
say?
there.
I was reading the chat. The chat's been going off, so I've just been reading the chat.
Do you have any?
Yeah. Do you have any soapboxes this week? Is there something you want to get off your chest now while we're waiting?
Let's hear it.
No, I don't. I don't need to get anything off my chest.
Dude, you have to be angry once a week. Come on, let's get it out of the way now.
I don't think I am. I don't know. I don't think I should talk about it. I mean, and this is the champions episode, and I'm like all season I'm mad about the whole engine deal.
You would be.
Not because I hate the Honda or I hate the Ford, but
you hate carburetors.
You're upset because they aren't listening to you yet?
No. I mean,
what are the main pros and main cons in your miraculous mind?
Miraculous.
Oh, I think there's a lot of pros about the Honda, especially since we just got one for $500. We talked to an engine builder, said he can freshen it up. Labor cost $1,200. Parts cost how much was that, Brandon?
About $1,000.
About $1,000 in parts. So you got $500, $1,200, $1,000. So I mean, between $5,000 and $6,000, you can have a Honda sitting there ready to go. Minus that's not sending it to the dyno guy to get it in spec, but man, this price point just got a lot lower for this Honda from what I'm doing all this research. Thanks to Brandon.
Yeah, I was going to say it. Thanks to Brandon.
little bit of supply and demand.
But
working out.
It's just like, man, how many more people would have Hondas if we
yeah, I think that's been
that price point.
The biggest complaint from everyone out there is the price point. I mean, we were trying the idea of the Honda, I think, besides being spec, is getting away from the $10,000, $12,000 2300s that used to cost $500 back in the days of our dad's racing. And I mean, so it's kind of, now we broke the seal. Let's try to kind of smooth some things out. And I think, again, like I said, it's going to be the motor of the future.
They're breaking the seals next week.
I was going to say, seal's getting broken.
Eddie's seal's going to be broken.
Yeah.
Whoa, that didn't sound right.
No, pause, rewind. Anyway, Bob, this is what we're looking for. Keep it going.
So these APBA guys are worried about cost. Well, let's talk about cost. Go get aluminum head right now, built, and then tell me how much that costs.
Yeah,
you can't get one.
We're back to using iron heads that we couldn't get back in the day, so we had to go to the aluminum head. But now we're back to using the iron heads.
And then, but wait, it gets even better with these Ford guys. Oh, that Beauport puts out more horsepower than aluminum head. Then why aren't you running it? Then why are you not running the Beauport head? That is BS.
Yep.
I mean, come on. And then, so you want to talk about price? Well, yeah, right now the HRL Honda is pricey, but we did the research and we can have it built for around $6,000. It's not counting the ECU or engine mounts, that stuff. But if you want to put it all in one basket, you can get the engine, the ECU, the engine mounts, the gearbox for cheaper than what you can have a brand new 2300 built. Because right now, when guys are asking for 13,000 for a 2300, come on, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's where I love where we are going with the sealed engines, and potentially it could work. But like I was talking to the guys at SCCA Enterprise, that's the race cars I used to run that were all spec, every part on the car were spec. Is I don't think our sport's there. You're talking when the spec racer Ford has 900 cars out there with guys that just arrive and drive. They're spending 10 grand a weekend. That's the cost for a spec car. You can afford that in a sport like that. I think our sport, some of the guys can, some can't. I think we got to find that balance, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, there's guys that just like to go race. They throw a motor together in their garage and go race, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can't push them out of the sport just to advance the sport to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that the Honda is going to be way cheaper the initial cost is going to be expensive, but it's still going to be cheaper than what you could go buy a race ready 2300 for. It's going to be easier to user friendly.
Yeah, they're going to last forever.
So it's a no brainer. Now I know APBA is like, we want data. Yeah. Well, they need specs now, because the data, go watch any of the HRL live stream. There's your data.
Yep.
There's your data. Watch Eddie Canfouche, Grant Liddycoat, John Shaw, and the other Hondas run together. That's the only data you need. And then, yeah, when HRL finally releases specs of these engines, well, then there's your specs. Hopefully they release them. They need to release them. We need to know what's in these.
Yeah,
engines.
there's not a ton in the rule book for Honda stuff.
No.
Which is something that would be nice to know.
It's a very gray area.
Yeah, and with the way they're doing it, trying to be one supplier and be a sealed engine, I guess you really don't need all those rules. But because we race two different series, I mean, it's putting you guys out of being able to go down the Caesars Creek or Hampton. So it's hurting the East Coast. I know it doesn't hurt the West Coast at all, because we only race out here, but it hurts our races like the second Cambridge race and Lake of Pacon and all these races that we used to get those HRL 2.5 stocks to. Yeah. That now you guys have Hondas, you can't come race. So, I mean, we've seen this how many times now? The H350 was there. It was too powerful. HRLs, they're trying to hurt people, blah, blah, blah. Now it's the motor, and everyone's more competitive than they ever were with 305s in the modern era. So,
I mean, let's just put in perspective for the IRC and APBA. We lost racers at Mott Lake because of the Honda. Well, yeah, you can run the Honda, but I mean, you don't get points and all that. So generally, we would get some. Last year, we got boats at Mott Lake. Last year at Caesars Creek. Generally at Lake of Pacon. And then, if you were allowed to run the Honda, guarantee you would have Hondas down at Hampton running at the Nationals. So there's 5 races that it's going to hurt if the APBA does not adopt this Honda. I think it's the future. Hopefully some guys on the IRC and tech committee see that too.
Why not let, like, if they are changing pistons, and we'll try to wrap this up because Fred's in the lobby waiting on us, but why not let somebody take the ECU and the wiring harness, buy that stuff, and put a junkyard motor in it? If we're only changing a couple things on these motors, which again, we don't know for sure, those specs aren't out there, let somebody do that. For these lower budget teams, I guarantee that the gap is going to be a lot less from someone that takes one and runs it straight out of the junkyard to someone that got one built by a motor builder than it is 2 Fords on different ends of the spectrum with $1,200 carburetors on one, and this guy that's been running this 350 CFM and can't afford a 500 CFM carburetor. So we're bridging that gap.
They won't talk about ECUs being expensive. Well, there's guys have more in one carburetor wrapped up money wise than the ECU costs. So, we'll keep fighting that battle in other episodes.
Not mad about anything. I knew.
Yeah. And not mad.
I can't complain about anything this week. I'm not upset. I got nothing to talk about.
This was a great end to your championship run here. Now that we're bashing on your engine,
no problem, guys.
Or promoting your engine. I don't know.
Honda.
Just can't. Yeah.
Right, well, I knew we had to kill some time.
Just don't break your seal.
Figure if you get Bobby going enough, you got some filler.
That's it.
No. Here's the question: since they broke the seal on your engine, are they going to hand it back to you in a basket so you can see?
No,
what's
it's
in
getting
it?
put back together.
Oh, they're not going to let you see it?
I don't think so.
Man,
I mean, technically, we could tear it open, but then
that's true.
Yeah.
Then you got other problems.
Now, Eric did comment as the builder of them up in HRL that it wouldn't last as a stock engine. So obviously that means some internal parts are being changed, whether it's rods, pistons, things that won't hold up. But I don't know. Some of them guys go out there with their Civics and they boost them up and go beep, 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 at the drag strip. They seem
How's
to.
that?
I bet they're not rebuilt. Hey man, I got a video of our Honda sitting on the floor. It's kind of like that GP one I did, but I don't know if I can post it or not.
I was gonna say that GP one was a little too intimate.
Yeah, you like that. I talked to it. It listened. It knew how to run. But anyway, Eddie, we appreciate you coming on. Congratulations again on your HRL championship, and we look forward to seeing you at some APBA races soon and running for the U.S. Nationals.
I don't know about that one, but we'll see. Thanks for having me on, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. It's great for the sport.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations. I'm proud of you, and you had an awesome year. It made watching that class really exciting. So
thank you very much.
Congrats, and I'm sure your dad is pretty freaking proud of you.
I hope so.
Definitely.
Yeah. So shout out to Mike.
On that note, get the other guy in here.
That is perfect. All right, Eddie. We'll see you.
All right, bud. See you. Got him.
He was the fastest one to leave. So I guess we'll bring Fred on. Remember, he's French, folks. He doesn't speak good English. We don't either. And we're going to try out our French. Anybody got Google Translate? How do you welcome in French?
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour, Fred. The champion.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Hey,
Good,
how are you? Congratulations.
I'm fine. Thanks.
Have you stopped partying yet?
Just a little bit Sunday night with the team, but not enough. So in October, we make a big party with all the people who helped me this year. So maybe there I'm vomit everywhere.
There you go.
So, Fred, we talked to how Jacob was a rookie in the 2.5 class, and then he came out and he had a dominant year and won the championship. And this was your first year stepping up to 350 full time, and you came out and won the championship. How does it feel?
I don't realize it. It's hard because I'm beginning the season with the boat of Donnie. I don't know the boat, so I just want to learn the boat and going more faster and faster and make some confiance with the boat. So when I'm coming at Valleyfield, I'm very confident. So at Valleyfield, I'm very going more comfortable with it, the equipment. So I'm going fast after that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your main crew member. I think it was Dominic Massinov doing your motors this year. How much of a help was he with your transition from 2.5 to H350?
Oh, it's a big step. It's a big step. But the motors he's building last year for her. So for him. So after I buy this winter the motor, and he helped me to learn the GM because I'm thinking Ford, and he said to me, "Fred, stop thinking of Ford. You have a GM." Okay, thank you, Tom. So I do some little mistake with the timing gun and everything. And Dom, please help me. What's wrong? And now, Fred, take care. I do, and don't worry about that. I learned to you. So every time I have a question for the motor or something, Dom is there. So he helped me a lot.
Awesome. Now, what do you think from Formula 2500 to H350? Which one has the higher competition level in your eyes?
In 2.5 for the Formula 2005 is competitive because you have 8 boats in the line on the start, and everybody is fast. In the 350, you have 4 to 5 boats during the qualification, and in this class 2, everybody is fast. So the 2 classes is very difficult. This is it's not easy because it's the 2.5 or the 2 classes are. For me, the class I have a big problem is the stock, the 2.5 stock, because you have the new guy and you don't know what the new guy is thinking, and okay, you jump in my face, what to do when he hit the wave or something. And in the Formula and the 350, everybody is more experienced, so it's more easy to stay in the line and make some confiance with the opponent.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Another thing, obviously, the 350 is a bigger boat. How long did it take you to realize that boat can go through bigger waves than what your 2.5 could?
In my first corner at Cambridge. Oh, I passed there? Oh, fuck yeah.
Right? Yep. Exactly. Imagine in a Grand Prix, you can go through anything then. So that's your next step. So was there a moment this year that stands out more than any others? Heat win, a heat race, any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah, this is my worst race ever in my life. Is Sorel final. Oh, shit. I start my motor 3 times during the race. Ken caught me, Carl caught me, and everybody passed on me. And I have a lot of water in the boat. The boat's going under the water every time, and I have 2-3 inch of water inside the cockpit and don't see in my glasses. Fuck.
Oh, man.
And I can feel the boat is too much heavy, and you feel the boat is going. I just try to finish this fucking race.
Exactly. Yeah, that looked like a rough one for sure.
It's my worst ever.
So I don't know. I had to go take care of my kid. He just got up for a second, but I don't know if they asked you this. Is your plan to run 350 again next year?
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Oh yes, for sure. I talked with Richard, but he not answer me now. But I demand to continue with this team because I love this team. He makes some confidence on me, and it's pretty awesome. It's a dream for me to drive for this team.
That's awesome. They're a good group of people. It's definitely fun to work with Richard and
Paul.
And Paul. I mean,
Paul.
Just you talk to them about setup and props.
Yeah.
You
for the
see their minds start going
and
smoke coming out of their ears. And then they start bringing out measuring tapes. Well, let's measure this. Get this prop out. Let's measure the prop.
Alex, keep the tape.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a good team to be on. A lot of knowledge there and a great group of guys.
Yes, It's awesome to work with Dominic, Paul, and Alex. You have three great person in the boat racing, and we have this person with me. I'm very honored to drive for these people.
Yeah. You did a great job this year. It's definitely impressive just to see you step into a new boat and then be consistent and be
Yeah,
competitive throughout the year. It was really awesome to watch you, and I'm proud of you because I've watched you start racing, when you in the S class, and then you progressed as a driver, and you always have that humble attitude where you were just happy to be there, happy to race, and it's pretty cool to see you stand as a HRL champion this
yeah.
year.
Thank you very much, Bobby. But I tried all the season to make no mistakes, no penalty, and just come back in the dock, and that's what happened. um, I try to do my best. So
Well, you did it good because now you're the 2024 H350 champion. So congratulations, Ball.
thank you, Bobby. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Would anybody else you want to thank while you're on Chasin Tails for your incredible season?
Yes. Richard and Grant Earn and all the Earn family, Paul, Alex, Dominic, all my team with me is. I need some help, and everybody's there for me. So it's amazing, and all my sponsors is pushing me to, yeah, no problem, Fred. We are there for you, and uh, it's it's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Definitely, yeah. But like I said, you've got that great personality in the sport, and everyone I think that hangs out with you laughs. You always keep everyone laughing. You're a great driver, and glad for you to win the HRL championship in one of the most competitive classes out there. So, and also thank you for coming on Chasin Tails and telling us a little bit about your journey this year.
Thank you very much, Brendan. I appreciate your when the guys like you, Bobby, and Andrew, and Mike Monahan says Bert Anderson going to see me. You driving very well. So for me, I'm not a good driver like you guys, but I try to do my best, and that's what happened when you put all your guts on these parts. You can do a great job.
Well,
That's
you
what
did a
makes the
great
best
job.
drivers, and that means you're one of them.
Thanks. But my nickname, don't worry, my nickname is Flipper. Huh?
At least you didn't do that one this year.
Oh, hell no.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well, I'm sure it's you're going to have a pretty fun time at the gala, and going to go accept that award, and
Yeah.
and then hopefully it'll be fun to see you back in that boat next year and defending your title.
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. Yeah, and well, so January here is time for the skidoo, but now I'm going for the convention.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep, it'll be one good party. But yeah, well, we thank you for sticking around, being our last guest on Chasin Tails tonight. And again, congratulations on your championship, and look forward to watching you try to repeat next year.
Thank you, guys, and continue. Your podcast is very cool to talk about boat racing. It's very cool. Continue this job.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'll try.
Definitely continue it. Thank you.
Hell yeah, guys.
Hell yeah.
All right. Have a good
All right,
one.
Bud. Well,
Thank
congratulations.
Thank you. See you guys.
He's awesome.
Fred's awesome. I like
Yeah,
Fred.
He's one of the highest personalities in the sport in HRL.
He's just
I'm
so
telling
happy.
you, he always his nickname, he said Flipper, but I got Fred Effer. That's what I was always told his name is, but that's not podcast friendly.
It's just Fred's the type of guy that to him just being around, you're going to be in a better mood because he's always happy. He's always happy. So he's a good guy. He's a good driver, and now he's champion. So it's pretty cool.
Incredible. It just goes to show you, man, you got to keep digging in this sport. He's went from a T-boat to a 2.5, 2,500, different boats throughout those, and now the 350 first year winning the championship. I mean, goes to show you got guys like Remy starting in 2.5 stock this year, and he's got high hopes. This is the kind of guy in Quebec that you need to watch. That just keep digging.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
I know all year when we would pick our votes for the upcoming races, we'd always talk about Fred, but it kind of seemed like he was always almost like the underdog. But he just grinded and grinded and grinded and
just kept
going. Seemed to work out.
Kept going, yeah. And I mean, I think he won the championship by 17 points, so that's a pretty good margin. He didn't make no mistakes. Like I said, that Sorel race was his hardest. I did watch him about submarine a couple times. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? But now good to know he got cut off by everybody. I thought he was just making mistakes. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately we're about out of time. We try to keep this thing under 2 hours, but how incredible. We had every HRL champion on Chasin Tails to share their stories.
We didn't forget about the novice class. They still have one race to go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at their points real quick. I think it was let's go to the HRL app.
I think Mezanoff is in first.
Well, it's Oliver Mezanoff in first, Naomi Mezanoff in second, and Médéric Gillet. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't just ruin that name, but they're separated by 6 and 11 points. So there's a tight battle in the top three. That's going to come down to their last race, I think, in Redwood, New York coming up. So maybe after that, we'll get them on too and have everyone in HRL. It's been a pleasure to be able to do that tonight.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was surprised that we got everyone on, especially Ken just landing in New Zealand and then jumping on. Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. Or not landing and just getting home. Now, did anyone notice he had a fire going on behind him? Is it that cold in New Zealand right now?
Yeah. I was going to ask him that, but I kind of forgot. But yeah, I don't know. Damn. It's got to be cold. Is it their winter? I don't understand how all that works. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
2 continents.
Yeah, it's 54 degrees in New Zealand right now.
Yeah, it's
a little cold. It's I guess that's about what it is outside our house in Michigan and Delaware here right now.
No,
but it's nighttime. It's daytime over there.
We touched up on it a little bit when we talked to Jimmie, though. Is Mays Landing this weekend?
Yeah, Mays Landing's this weekend. Again, it's going to be a good show for them. Big skiff turnout. It's an awesome little race. One of my favorites. Bobby, we got lots of memories from that place. Especially a wedding and everything happened there. Good times. But yeah, they got a little potluck dinner.
That was always a good time, Mays Landing.
Yeah, definitely a good race to go to.
And one of the hardest courses to race on. Yeah, one of the hardest courses to race on. We call it the toilet bowl because you're running around in circles. You get about 50 laps in a warm-up if you run a warm-up hard.
Yeah.
It's that small, but it's fun.
Go test the GP on it.
I literally... This has actually, man, if I wasn't going to Clemson this weekend, I would definitely do it for this podcast. Because I always said that if I ever took a GP there, I'd touch the end of my tail. Be like a dog chasing its tail.
Awesome.
And it'd be perfect for this podcast.
Chasing tails.
You have to live stream.
Yeah.
It would be
I keep seeing that there's like the live stream function on the GoPros. I want to set it up that we live stream from the cockpit. That would be insane.
I think Tyler's done before.
Yeah, I used to do it in the car racing because then people could watch me when there was like no timing or no live stream there. But yeah, it'd be really cool. But then again, do you really want people to see what you're doing?
The one thought I had was one day we got to do it. We've done the 3 of us, the 3 brothers. We got to get you get all 4 of us out on the course together somehow, one way or another. And that's when we do it. Because the shit talking will be
that would be
real.
good. And we'll have a second skiff, so I mean we could have that done. We got the sunk one.
Do
it's
we
all
just throw the
up,
two
ready to go.
2 really bad backs in one skiff? Me and Brandon, we go together. We're good.
Yep.
Yeah. The
Yep,
most
pretty
current
much.
skiff.
Sorry, Kyle, I'm driving.
Yeah, you're gonna get his ass to drive. Well,
no, we can pull that in 2.5 stock. We can find enough 2.5 stocks to go run a.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, someone said 13 degrees there in New Zealand, so maybe that's Celsius though.
That's got to be Celsius.
And Jack wanted everybody to know that he's done his flying this year. Not this kind of flying. He was trying to do it. He was like, there's like, what, a 20-mile-an-hour wind with 30-mile-an-hour gust. And he's like, we can race. I said, I already got one picture of you on my wall. I can have another one.
Where was that? Was that Bonjour?
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe could have done it, and I would have done it. I mean, I think everybody in the GP class voted, but after a second blowover, I think they were like, nah, we're not ruining this for the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's good for HRL to step in and be like, yeah, it's too rough or it's too windy. So, I mean, that means you're just keeping the boats and drivers at first rather than the show, which, show is very important. But when you start running out of boats because of accidents, then your show goes away.
He's sitting there smirking.
There, dude. Jackson there. He's saying there was no goats to race. There was a lot of fans there. Could you imagine that? That'd be a good place to have that little goat race racing around the bleachers there in Bournemouth.
Goat race.
That'd be good. I'm gonna get in a lot better shape.
Hey,
this
there's
winter
3
for that.
bleachers. You could do like a figure 8.
Yes.
Run
into each other. Powered by Griots.
Powered by Bush Latte.
Oh, if we're racing goats, I'm thinking it's going to be powered a little bit more.
Sailor Jerry's.
Yeah. Yes. No doubt there. And man, that's kind of crazy. TJ posted that the only HRL race to run a full schedule is Tonawanda.
I picked a good one.
That's kind of wild. That's wild.
Now,
who would have thunk?
I wasn't in Sorel, but I was in Tonawanda, and I can say Tonawanda, that was one of the roughest waters.
Wait, didn't Cambridge run the full schedule?
I would have thought, but
no, because the Loch Ness Monster.
We still ran.
Oh yeah. I don't think we did Concies. Maybe we skipped Concies.
Maybe. I ran a final. I know that. I sucked.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. Everybody's allowed to every now and then, right, Bob?
Well, yeah. I'll leave it alone. You have to run to.
I guess next week.
What are you talking about? Just because Lupton's paid Kent to run into me.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
Bait them all. I'm
kidding.
I did hear some cool news. Speaking of Kent, that the Canada boy might be returning next year, and there was like a little rumor that maybe they'll have the Canada boy and Kent might drive with, and then they'll have the Canada girl, obviously with Stephanie, and then Canada kid with Colin Henderson. That'd be kind of neat.
What? That would be awesome.
A little flow down the line. That's pretty.
That would
neat,
be cool.
So.
Kent has been doing really good in that boat. I mean,
yeah, it's fast.
Bonjour,
he wants to fly.
That boat stepped up in speed a lot, and yeah, Kent likes to fly that
Keep
boat.
it on the water.
Yeah, Kent likes to fly that boat.
That's fast.
But no, that'll be pretty cool. That'll be awesome.
But yeah, I guess next week we'll have to recap a little bit more of the action at Bournemouth, the flyers that happened and all those kinds of things. But this was definitely a cool episode. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to hear some of the stories from the HRL champions this year. Next week we'll gear up, obviously, Lake Pacon coming up, Hampton. As Jimmie Stewart said, this is the long stretch for APBA inboard racing with the U.S. Nationals also on the horizon. So a lot to talk about next week.
Yep.
Anything you guys want to add?
No.
About that Honda, so I'm just kidding. No, I don't have anything. I just like to add. It was cool talking to all the champions, the HRL, it was really cool for HRL to live stream all season. They had one hell of a year with all the competition in every class. It was really good to watch. So HRL's doing something right. They have good competition, good heat racing, good points battles, top-notch teams in every class. So, it's just pretty cool to be a part of HRL and everything they have going on. So hats off to HRL for a great season. Not just the racers, but the race committee and everyone that organizes all the races. So hopefully another great year next year.
Bob said it about as good as you could. I mean, the racers, the organizers, the race sites, maybe not Mother Nature, but everyone. No,
we can't control
everyone
that.
pulled together this year.
Just keep TJ home.
There's definitely some ups, some downs, but learned a lot this year. I think the sport's going in the right direction. The league is definitely being a big help with that. So I think if us racers and the league can keep pushing it, maybe APBA, the other APBA, or GPA. Too many acronyms, man. I have a list of acronyms at work that are over 100 long, so it's too much.
Yeah, we have ADD,
ADHD,
ADHD, all here on the podcast.
But no, it was an awesome year, and definitely can tell the sport's going in the right direction, coming into the 21st century, and competition's as good as it's ever been. So I think just keep going up from here.
For sure. Yeah, I think the only thing I can add to that is HRL and GPA stepping up to work together. I think it was huge for the sport. It's grown it from GP down to 2.5 stock. Everything helps. Anytime you go to big events like that and you're promoting, you're taking great boats there. And I also think it has a trickle down effect in how many boats are going to San Diego here in a couple weeks because of this challenge, because both organizations finally went to the board and worked together. So hopefully, I'm going to guess it's going to be back next year. I'm not going to give that trophy up. It's going to still be sitting here. Hopefully we can mix up a race, maybe even end in San Diego. If San Diego's as good as it's going to shake out to be this year, maybe that GP challenge can end out there. And the sport is on the rise, as you boys said, and congrats to all the HRL champions. It's been a joy watching all the heats this year. And that's it for episode 21 of Chasin Tails.
Have a good one.
Care.
And my Honda goes.